All right, this is the Ryan Rush Show, and we have Colorado Paul with us today, and he's pretty much just going to be walking us through his journey, his business and real estate journey, and he's going to be talking about pretty much he used to work with Tony Robbins, and kind of let's just hop in here and go into what do you do, and how'd you find yourself getting there and like getting started?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Ryan. I am Colorado Paul Wells is my kind of my moniker right now. I live over here on the western side of Colorado and have always done anything I wanted to do, believe it or not. I made some decisions early on that I was going to do what I wanted. I had an opportunity to go be a partner when I was young in what became the largest law firm in Southern California. My dad had started a law firm and they blew it up, and it just grew and grew and grew. He offered me a partnership position there when I was young. I just had no interest in working in an office all my life and arguing with people for a living, quite frankly. So I went off. I was a professional skier for a number of years, went to college. And when I came back out of college, I moved back to San Diego, where I was born. And through a twist of fate, met Tony Robbins one evening. And within a week, he had offered me a job to go work with him as part of his national sales training team. I did that for about 3 years. But always had been investing in real estate. Bought my first investment property in 1990, and then worked for corporations for about 10 years because I kind of thought maybe that's what I needed to do. But got tired of that very quickly. I got tired of people telling me what to do. Figured I only lived once. And I learned a lot from Tony when it came to making decisions like that. I knew that if other people were making a living and enjoying a great lifestyle without having to go to work for a corporation and work basically wholesale, I wanted to work retail. I wanted to get paid retail money, not wholesale money. And so in 2001, I was working for a company, and I was actually flying on 9/11, the day that New York was attacked. And I was actually flying in the air from Denver to New York, and they put us down in Chicago. And I had a 3-year-old daughter at the time. I had other kids. I was traveling 150 days a year, and I was sick of it. I was looking for a way out. And on that day, on 9:30 in the morning, I'll still remember it, seat 2A on an American Airlines flight, I said, something's going to change. I am going to do something different. I am taking charge of my own destiny, and made a decision that morning and decided full-time real estate investment. So I started doing that. Used some of the skills that Tony taught me and became really successful really quickly at buying and selling houses, not as a real estate agent, but as an investor, and took that into a teaching platform where I was teaching other investors what I was doing. And that kept parlaying and parlaying into, for example, I became CNBC's distressed property consultant or distressed property guest for a couple of years. And I just kept growing and growing, and just have loved doing real estate, enjoy it, thinks it gives me tremendous freedom. And a lot of the stuff I learned from Tony really helped me in my real estate career. Like one of the things I learned that all of your listeners can utilize when it comes to their lives and what they're doing is massive action equals massive results. I was telling you earlier before we started, when I was trying to buy houses, I would talk to investors that were making 30 offers a month. 1 offer a day was their deal. And I said, you know what? That's not massive action. You know what's massive action? 30 offers a week. And so I started doing that, and my real estate career took off. So that being said, doesn't matter what you've chosen as your path for your business, double it, triple it, whatever you're doing, and you will see those kind of results. Massive action does equal massive success. And what will happen is you will get good far faster than you would if you weren't doing it, but you will also learn what not to do much quicker than you would learn if you were only doing it at 25% of the pace I was doing it at. So those kind of decisions that I made a huge difference in the path and the trajectory, if you will, of the successes that I enjoyed.
Wow. Yeah, that's an incredible story. A question for you. How old were you on that 9/11 flight where you kind of like sat back and were just like, this is when I need to change? And what was exactly the reason why you just decided I've had enough? I don't want to do the corporate America thing. I just want to like have freedom and be financially free.
So I was probably 41 years old. I'm trying to think back a little bit. It's about 20 years ago. So I'm 61 now. I was 41. And I had known for a while, I had and you'll feel it. You feel it in your gut.
Yeah.
And women especially, men suck at it. Women are really good at it with that women's intuition. And so I felt it in my gut that something needed to change. I had a 3-year-old daughter at the time, and I had a 5-year-old son and an 8-year-old son. And it was really interesting because I would come home from these trips. And like I said, I was traveling 150 days a year. I'd come home from these trips. The boys would run up to me and look in my pockets for stuff I had gotten at trade shows and little trinkets and stuff. My little girl would come up and jump in my arms and put her arms around my neck and wouldn't let go for 2 hours. I said, okay, if I don't do something, if I don't make a change, make a decision, and that's what a lot of success comes down to, is simply making a decision. You decide, hey, I'm fed up with this, or I need to change, or I want to go a different path. Is it scary sometimes? Maybe a little. People have fear and they make it up in their minds. And fear, the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. And so I always looked at situations and go, what's the worst thing that can happen? So I'm saying I have got to make a change. I do not want to get to where my kids are 18, 20, and 23 years old and say, you know what, they've grown up, they're gone. So I made that decision, but I didn't know what I was going to do. And so on the airplane that day, I said, I need to do something. I need to make a change. Real estate was calling me. But I didn't know which path to turn. And so as fate might have it, now a lot of your listeners are not going to know this name, but as fate might have it, the night after 9/11, we had been watching TV, obviously, tremendous amount for like 24, 36 hours. And I was stuck in Chicago for 5 days before I could get out of there. I was watching a late night something or other and flipping channels, and a Carlton Sheets commercial came on, an infomercial, 30-minute infomercial. For those of you who don't know, Carlton Sheets was the author of a real estate strategy called Nothing Down. You can buy houses with nothing down. And they had testimonials on there from people that looked just like me. Some of them were smarter than me. Some of them I thought I was smarter than. I said, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. Another thing I learned from Robbins was success leaves clues. So does failure. And so I said, if they can do it, I can do it. So I immediately bought that course that night. It arrived at my house by the time I was there, and away I went. Now, at the time, I was making $250,000 a year working for a company selling a software solution. As fate might have it, if those of you who remember back then, the technology industry just went downhill after 9/11. It just ruined it. And so I got laid off. I was the vice president of business development for this company. I got laid off 2 months later. It's like, okay, that's a sign. Where we go. And I have never looked back. Never.
Wow. Okay. So why don't you pull up that picture of Tony?
You liked that picture, didn't you?
Yeah, dude. I've seen so many videos and pictures of him now, but like you two are like, you guys are like what we would call OGs. Like you guys were cool back when nobody knew who Tony Robbins was. And
what is an OG? What does OG mean?
Okay, so the actual acronym for it means original gangster, but like what we all like say it as is like, you guys go way back. Like you guys are bros, you guys have history together, pretty much is how we use it. But how was it like working with Tony? And you brought up a couple things you've learned from him already, but back then when Tony was still in his kind of like up and coming stages, how was his mindset? Because I'm sure his mindset back then when you guys were pals is kind of like how a lot of the audience's mindset is now. Like we're still trying to figure it out. Like we have that drive, we have that itch, like we have the ambition,
right,
but we're trying to figure out where to direct our time and our energy and what's worth it and what's not worth putting our time into. If you can just go into
So I
that.
threw that picture up there. Did you get it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see it.
Okay. I'll take it down now because but that was Tony and I at about, I think we were probably 28 years old because we're just about the same age.
Mhm.
And that was at a conference in San Diego that he was speaking at and that I was attending on his behalf. But it was a really interesting experience. It's a gift that keeps giving.
Yeah.
He was high energy. He taught me that you need to find something that you love to do. If you don't hear anything else from Ryan's podcast here, find something that you love to do and do it with passion and do it with energy and do something you love. Life's too damn short not to do something you love. It's every day above ground is a great freaking day. We don't have a lot to complain about. Yeah, sometimes life throws us a shitball. There's no doubt about it. But there's other times when you can work your way through it with a little bit of perseverance. I look at life as chapters, and I'm 60 years old, so I'm two-thirds the way through my book right now, but I'm still young, I'm still healthy, I feel good. I semi-retired in 2016, and it took me 2 weeks ago. This is freaking boring. And so
yeah. I love that mindset that you're just like, I'm young, I'm still kicking ass, because my dad is he's 15 years younger than you. And he talks about how like he's old and that he doesn't want to change his career because, I don't know, I'm not sure if you know, but my background being from the Midwest, factory jobs are huge out there. So both my parents work in factory jobs, and he's been working there at the same factory since he was 18. So he just has that kind of mindset where he's just like, this is all I know, and this is like all I'm gonna do until I retire. And me having the complete opposite mindset as him, I'm just like, no, you need to like get into this and this and this, leave that job, you need to see the world, you need to travel, you need to do all this. He's like, I'm too old for that, like I like this and that. I'm like, no, dude, like you gotta, like, why do you want to do that for the rest of your life? Life is so short. You want to spend like 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. staying at this job that, like I don't understand it, but yeah, go ahead.
I agree with you. No, I don't get it either. And the statistics show that after you retire, if you have nothing to do, your life expectancy decreases dramatically. You've got to have a reason to wake up in the morning. You've got to have something that you want to do. And I get the mentality coming from, you work in a factory all your life. He's been there since he's 18. So he's waiting to hit 38 or 48. So he's been there 30 years and he gets his retirement. Okay, great. Now what?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with the second half of your life? I don't have a second half of my life. My life is every single day. I'm not going to give up. I may slow down. One of the things I took up when we moved here to the western slope of Colorado was golf. I didn't know how to golf. I'm now the third worst golfer in Colorado. I moved up from the second worst golfer. That's fine. But it's interesting. You've got to have a reason to wake up, and you've got to have a purpose. So when I retired back in 2016, after 2 weeks, I was calling all my buddies going, hey, let's go do something. This is great. I got all this time. You know what? They couldn't go do anything with me. You know why? They're still working. They're still out there working. So I sat around with a buddy of mine one night. I was talking to him, and he's a life coach, and he actually knows Tony pretty well too. We're sitting around in the backyard. It was probably late fall, and I had a fire going back there. And I go, God, what am I going to do, Will? He goes, I tell you what, you got a bottle of tequila? I said, sure. Walked in the house, got it. Because we're going to drink this bottle of tequila around this fire, and by the time we're done, we're going to figure out what you should be doing. So we open it up and we start talking. We start, drinking our tequila. And by about 3/4 of the way through it, he had an idea for me after all the stuff he asked me that I like to do. He said, you should go work on a dude ranch. Dude ranch, what the hell? Well, she goes, you know how to ride horses a little. You like being around people, and you listed off all the other stuff. And I go, you're right. And so never having worked on a dude ranch, never having worked around horses, I sent an email to all the dude ranches in Colorado. And by May of that year, I'd been hired by one to work on a dude ranch. And I was riding horses, and I was a camp host. I was playing my guitar around the campfire. I was talking to people. I was doing all the things I like to do. I was living on a ranch. I love ranch. That's why I call myself Colorado Paul. I love the ranch lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
And so that's what I did. So I made a decision. And that was one of the things I learned from Tony as well. Make a freaking decision. Quit flapping in the wind. If I don't have something to do, I'm like this great big ship with this great big propeller, but this little tiny rudder. So I have no direction. So I make decisions, and then I make things happen. And if they don't work out, they don't work out. So what? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? I failed. That's okay. I've failed before. People fail. That's all there is to it. Look at Edison, failed 10,000 times. He never called it failure. He goes, I figured out 10,000 ways for a light bulb not to work.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that whole direction thing, because a lot of people have like fear stops them, or failure. Especially in my age group, people don't want to look stupid. They don't want other people to look at them and be like, oh, you failed. But I think it's just because they just care way too much about what other people think. And something that I've learned is I learned this earlier in high school. I started a YouTube channel. I love cars. So when I was like literally one of the only kids in my entire high school that had a YouTube channel, kids made fun of me for like being the YouTuber kid. I didn't give a shit. I was just like, hey, I'm doing something that I like. I'm doing something different than you guys. And I could care less if you guys are kind of like talking behind us, being like, oh, Ryan thinks he's going to be a famous YouTuber, or, just like something like this. Like, I've never done a podcast before. I had no idea how to start recording, how to get it uploaded onto Spotify and all that stuff. But hey, I just did it. I figured it out. And now you're the third person that I'm interviewing for my podcast. And it's just nice. Like, you kind of have to throw fear out in the back burner and just kind of have that tunnel vision and just have that direction. And you might be going in the wrong direction, but at least now you are from point A. You left point A and now you're at point, maybe you went to C, but now you realize you're at C. You're still trying to get to B. And it's better than being stuck at A, and just being there forever and never, something I said on Clubhouse. I'm not sure if you were in that room, but I said something that really resonated with a lot of people is you need to become comfortable being uncomfortable, because the only way that you're ever going to be successful and open these new doors is being uncomfortable, doing things that make you uncomfortable, and, like sticking your neck out there, and doing something that other people aren't doing, essentially.
Well, and it's fear. Fear stops a lot of people. It totally paralyzes. And once again, I'll say it again. This acronym is true. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Think about, how bad could it really be? So, I look out my window up here on the western slope of Colorado. I'm looking at a granite rock face that's probably 1,500 feet tall. That's almost straight down. I've never flown a hang glider or a paraglider in my life. Now, if I was told I had to go jump off that thing with a paraglider on my back, that's fear that's real. Mm-hmm. That's fear that is real. But if you get, in my business, I'm going to go, I see a house that's down the road or whatever, that's worth $300,000 and it's a little beat up and these people want to sell it. And I'm going to go offer them $140,000 for it. People are like, what? Are you kidding? They're going to laugh you out of the room. So, okay, sure. But you know what? People take those offers because you never know what someone's situation is, especially if they own the houses free and clear. So my real estate career has been built on doing things like you just said that are uncomfortable. I can't make an offer on a $300,000 house for $140,000. Well, why not? Well, they might laugh at me. So, well, they might kick me out of their house. So, they also might take the offer,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
so it's just, you're right. It's doing things that you're uncomfortable with. It's doing things that are out of the norm. And the other thing is having fun. My old buddy Ed Sitner
Absolutely.
always says, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a fun time. I agree, 100%.
Me too. I feel like another thing that people think is that they just have to be 24/7, like be miserable and just grind all the time. But you also got to kind of make time to have fun too. Like yesterday I did some stuff towards my Amazon business and, obviously work and stuff like that. But then I was just like, you know what? Like I want to go to the driving range. I haven't been there in a while, and it's a nice day out. And, like that really brought me a lot of joy and happiness. I was out there for 2.5 hours, just kind of trying to, I'm just like you. I suck at golf. I just started. I'm probably right next to you. I'm the third worst golfer in Los Angeles right now. But you know what? It's still fun for me to learn something new and to like learn how to hit a driver, because like hitting an iron is like, okay, like it's not super hard, but hitting that driver, man, that's hard. Getting that thing not to curve on you. But yeah, you also gotta have fun too. You can't just be, like even if you are working towards your business and you are doing a lot towards it, that's great. But if you're miserable, then is it really worth it?
No, no.
So definitely agree. You gotta have fun. You're here to have a fun time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason why else do you want to be alive? What a shame it would be to get to the end of your life and go, shit, I missed out. I missed
Yeah.
out. And that's one of the reasons that we're trying to make a push towards, helping people get the most out of what they have. So for example, I don't know how old you are. You look like you're 25, maybe.
I just turned 20 a couple months ago.
Okay. So a lot of people that from 20 to 30 or from birth to 30 are not owning real estate, for example. Our focus is real estate. Our focus is investment real estate. For those of you who love single family homes and own a single family home and have owned one for a few years, you have the ability to take that home, whether you're 30 years old, whether you're 40, 50, 60 years old, and let that home go to work for you with what we call ADUs, accessory dwelling units. And it's really, like I was telling you earlier, it's just a little house in the back of your big house that you can rent out, that you can let an aging parent live in, short-term rentals, long-term rentals. You can live in it, rent your front house out, but your house can make you money. And now is the best time you can do it. So that's our mission right now. We started the National ADU Association, and once again, ADUs are accessory dwelling units. We started that association with the mission to educate and advocate and build an ADU community. We have a major housing crisis. We don't have a housing problem. We have a housing crisis, especially an affordable housing crisis. A lot of people can't afford a nice place to live. So do something to help yourself out financially. If you own a single family home, go to my website, adublueprint.com, and come join us for a Saturday training sometime. I do a Saturday training once a week at 10 o'clock Mountain Time where you can come in and ask questions. I'm not selling anything. I'm just giving information back. And I always feel if you give, stuff's going to come your way.
Absolutely.
So learn how to use your property to make you money. Learn how to use your property to help other people and help yourself. Nothing wrong with that. Have a mission. That's one of the things I also learned from Robbins was, he was on a mission. He was on a mission to impact millions of people. He made it. He did it. We're on a mission to help people let their homes, let their real estate make them money without a tremendous amount of effort and take care of a housing problem that we have. So, I've got a direction. I've got a mission. This is something I can do till the day I die. I can be the founder of this association and, I can be as old as I like and do it because I founded it.
Yeah, absolutely. So for a 20-year-old or for just a young adult trying to get their first real estate property or their first real estate investment, what would you guide them to do?
Find a coach, find somebody who's done it before you, other people's success, OPE, other people's experience, success leaves clues. Find somebody. Now, they're going to say, oh, he says, go find a coach. That's one of those slick real estate programs. Don't go to one of those. You know, if they're charging you 5 figures over $10,000, they got a whole bunch of slick marketing material, and they got the Joker standing in front of his fake Learjet, I call them fake gurus, standing in front of his fake Learjet that's clearly not his. Listen, I've been in real estate for 30 years. I know people who made a shit ton of money in this business. None of them own their own Learjet. So don't buy that crapola.
Yeah.
Go to your local real estate club and start to network and meet people, find people that are successful, talk to them, have conversations, and start to learn. Always be curious. That's one of the things I've always been, is curious. I want to know why people are good at what they do. I'm starting a clubhouse room that has to do with massive action achievers, people in different businesses, not just real estate, different businesses that are achieving highly. And I want to give information out. So I love Clubhouse because I can get on there and I can learn from people. I was listening to a Clubhouse this morning on Instagram Reels. Dude, I'm 61 years old. I got no social media DNA. I suck. You know, I'm an old guy trying to learn social media, but I'm going to try and learn it, try to get a little of it. So you've got to learn from other people, and you've got to be humble enough to go, you know what, they know more than I do. So if I am 20 years old, to answer your question, let's say I don't have any money, I'm going to learn how to wholesale real estate, how to go find a house, put it under contract, and sell the contract. It costs you no money to do that, none. I'm going to go be a bird dog for somebody. I'm going to go be somebody's assistant. I'm going to humble down. You know, real estate is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you've got to learn it over the course of time. I'm still learning about it. To this day, I'm learning about it.
Yeah.
But you can get better, and you can get better fast by having a passion for what you're doing. So I would say learn how to wholesale, or go be somebody's assistant, but go join a local real estate club too, or real estate association, and just start talking to people. Facebook has got great wholesale forums. Go do your research. You said something that was interesting a little while ago, is, you know, your people your age are afraid to fail. You know what? The social media is great on one hand. I think it sucks on another. Everybody wants to put up on their social media how great they're doing, how wonderful their life is, how everything's fantastic. Nobody wants to be a failure. You know what? I'm sorry. Get humble, fail a little bit, be real, and move on. And you will learn a ton from that.
Wow. I'm definitely gonna hold that quote, because, you know, like, I feel like I fall into that too. It's super hard, just because you always want to kind of like record and just post like all of the cool stuff you're doing. But, you know, another like go against the grain thing. Who's out there posting when they fail? Nobody. So I think that's something that I definitely should do, is, you know, document those failures too, and just kind of reflect and just be like, okay, I failed at this, but what did I learn? And how can I better myself and keep moving forward? And I think that would be
I mean, I've posted my failures before. I don't got any problem with that.
Yeah.
I post mistakes on when we're doing construction projects, you know, things that I see that I've done wrong, or I've let my contractor do wrong. So yeah, well, whatever.
Okay. So Colorado Paul, I got one more question for you. Final question. First of all, where can the viewers find you? You did mention your website, but if you want to talk about your Instagram handle or Twitter or Clubhouse, where they can find you on Clubhouse and everything, just go ahead and let the viewers know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can just go to Colorado Paul on either Instagram or Clubhouse. You can find me there. If you want to learn about ADUs, which I highly, highly recommend that every listener at least learns about these, go to my ADU blueprint blueprint.com. Sign up for the Saturday training. It's honestly, it's a 45-minute Q&A. Ask any questions you want. If I get people in there and nobody's asking questions, I kill the room. I'm not going to sit there and babble on. I know the information. So I'm happy to share it. So adublueprint.com is the place to go sign up. I promise you, you're not going to get spammed with salesy crapola and, hey, join my $10,000, $20,000 mentorship. Crapola. Just come and learn, and I'll be happy to help you out there.
Okay. So last question, what impact are you trying to have on the world, or just your personal impacts that you want to have?
What impact? Well, I'd like to show people here in America how to let their houses go to work for them. A lot of people are real estate rich, but cash poor. I can show you how to let your house go to work for you, and that'll have a direct impact on your lives. And for example, your aging in place parents' life. It is super important to take care of the people that we love that are close to us, that maybe are a little bit vulnerable, and developing a single family home that's got the space for an ADU in the backyard, or has got the space for an ADU in a basement or a garage, can make an impact on an aging in place parent's life. And I call the concept living together with space. And so, you know what? I don't want my 90-year-old mom to come live with me. And guess what? She doesn't want to come live with me, but she would like to have her own place. And she'd like to be near her family. And I have seen these ADUs reignite family relationships, because you're talking about your dad, probably you couldn't go live with him now for a long amount of time. You guys would probably drive each other nuts. But if you were in a little house in the backyard doing your own thing, or vice versa, they were in a little house doing their own thing, and you guys cross paths once in a while, that probably works.
Yeah.
So our mission is to advocate, educate, and build a community around accessory dwelling units.
Sounds great. Colorado Paul, thank you so much for being on the podcast. You brought so much great information. It was truly an honor speaking with you today, and
vice versa,
picking your brain a little bit. And hopefully we can get back on here soon in about a year or something, and just kind of see where we're both at business wise and just in our lives, and see if we're a little bit better at golf maybe.
Yeah, right. Right. Well, thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Good luck with your podcast. Happy to help you out. And good luck to everybody else. Remember, everybody, massive action equals massive results.